Check 1, 2. Okay. Now we've got sound. Hello out there. So I can see myself and hear myself. If anyone is able to send a comment on the Dover Library Facebook page to let me know that you can also see and hear me, that would be lovely. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get started and hope that the chat part kicks in case you have questions for me. But I've definitely got some stories to tell you regardless. So I wanted to kick off today. So my name is Alyssa Yeager. My stage name is Rhiannon's Lark. And I do that because I also perform full cover shows. I do a lot of shows at assisted living facilities with 50s and 60s cover songs. So when I'm doing primarily originals, I go by Rhiannon's Lark. But I might throw a couple oldies in tonight, especially if you want to hear them. So let me know if you would like to hear some oldies as well. And I'm going to start out with a song that I wrote at a convention that I attended last fall. And it was the winner of the competition. It's called Lost in Translation. And it's about how when you have social anxiety, sometimes the cues that you're trying to put out into the world get lost in translation. I meant to say I like you, but I just hid my eyes. I meant to introduce myself, but my God, what would that imply? So I'll just sit here quietly and somehow hope you guess all the things that I can't say. My social graces are a mess, and all my good intentions are just lost in translation. We're speaking the same language, but my message goes astray. My social anxiety comes across as impropriety. I only hope my muddled cues don't chase you away. If you like a puzzle, try me on for size. Hours of decoding fun are yours. I'm quite a prize. The smallest not my great esteem, while wide eyes hold my pain. When I run and hide, you'll know you've captivated me again. And all my good intentions are just lost in translation. We're speaking the same language, but my message goes astray. My social anxiety comes across as impropriety. I only hope my muddled cues don't chase you away. In time you'll find you hear the words that never leave my lips. My feelings like the sun, still there despite a full eclipse. You'll need a bit of patience, don't judge me by today. Perhaps a few years down the road, I won't have to say that all my good intentions are just lost in translation. We're speaking the same language, but my message goes astray. My social anxiety comes across as impropriety. I only hope my muddled cues don't chase you away. 'Cause all my good intentions are just lost in translation. We're speaking the same language, but my message goes astray. My social anxiety comes across as impropriety. But if you get it, you might make a new friend today. Yeah, if you get it, you might make a new friend today. All right. I'm just going to refresh my page here because it seems like everything is going through fine, but it is not consistently refreshing my Facebook page, so I'm not seeing any comments or reactions showing up in the chat, which means that I can't interact with you. All right. I'm just going to keep playing. And maybe I'll see some comments, and maybe I won't. That's okay. So the next song that I would like to do for you is called "The Birds of Rhiannon," and it is a song about the legend that I based my Rhiannon's Lark name on. So this is about the goddess Rhiannon, and she has 3 birds that she sends out into the world to help her in her work. And the birds can either raise the dead with their singing, or they can sing people to sleep. And when the people wake up, all of their troubles will be gone. So I really like the idea of that, and just the idea that music can offer peace and surcease from the world when you need it. So this is Birds of Rhiannon. There's a wee green bird who visits me when I feel weighed down by my troubles. He sings a melody so sweet, asking me to join, so I do. It's a living gift from a brighter world when our own just seems too dark. It's the voice of the goddess in a little lark. The second bird in pearly white comes along when I just can't let go. Her harmonies will soothe away my struggles and finally let me rest. It's a living gift from a brighter world when our own just seems too dark. It's the compassion of the goddess in a little lark. And the birds of Rhiannon will shield you from all sorrow till the dawn of tomorrow. And the birds of Rhiannon will shield you from all sorrow till the dawn of tomorrow. The golden bird will join in song when the world seems the most hopeless. He's got a way to make things right. When you awaken, your troubles have passed you by. It's a living gift from a brighter world when our own just seems too dark. It's the power of the goddess in a little lark. And the birds of Rhiannon will shield you from all sorrow till the dawn of tomorrow. And the birds of Rhiannon will shield you from all sorrow till the dawn of tomorrow. All right, so that was Birds of Rhiannon. When I get to that third verse, it seems a lot recently that I feel it's very timely, the whole idea that when the world is at its most hopeless and we just need something to cling on to. I'm going to lighten it up a little bit with this next one. So I write a lot of serious songs, and I also write a lot of silly, geeky songs about things like ninjas and krakens and board games. So some of you out there might be familiar with the game Settlers of Catan, and perhaps you are not, but you might enjoy this song anyway. This is a tale of a strategy in that game gone terribly wrong. I started out with a plan to build a monopoly. I've got the best numbers, they're sure to be rolled, and soon I'll have all I need. I left very little to luck. I prefer to rely on strategy. 2 roads away and a settlement, and the sheep ports all for me. But I've been double-crossed, hung out to dry, stolen my sheep, or though you have no sheep, I am left to cry. I've got sheep for wood, I've got sheep for wheat, I've got sheep for anything, I've got sheep for wood, I've got sheep for wood, I've got sheep for stone. I'd even take that brick from you, I've got sheep for wood. I don't understand. Was it just for spite? Now you're in just as much of a bind as I. We're both out of luck. Can't turn back time. You're the proud owner of an empty port. I am left to cry. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for wheat. I've got sheep for anything. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for stone. I'd even take that brick from you. I've got sheep for wood. I'm a third of the way to a development card. That's a long, long way from winning. I just can't find a good way out. I've got sheep for wood. I'll trade you 2 for 1. All right, 5 for 3. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for stone. I'd even take that brick from you. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for wheat. I've got sheep for anything. I've got sheep for wood. I've got sheep for anything. I've got sheep for wood. All right, so I am coming to you all from my music studio here, my home in Troy, New York. And that little thing at the bottom of the screen in the purple box there, singinglark.com, that will take you to my website if you want to find out more about what I do, other shows that I might have coming up. I have quite a number of albums available on there. And right now, Bandcamp, where you can download the albums from, is offering no fees. So artists get 100% of whatever you choose to pay for the album. All of the albums on there today are pay what you wish. So you can try out my music for as little or as much as you would choose to give. So this next song is sort of in between the silly, serious boundary that I mentioned. It's a serious topic, and the sort of moral of the story here is being careful about treating people Judging people and treating them according to your judgment before you really get to know who they are and what they're about, because sometimes the way that you treat people creates the person that they are going to become. Only in this case, this is not about a person. It's about a kraken, a tiny, tiny little kraken living in a tiny little tide pool. It's called Tiny Kraken. Tiny Kraken, you are so adorable, makes me want to sigh and coo. Baby Kraken, safe under the water, how could anyone fear you? Little Kraken, exploring your tide pool, your first teeth have just come in. Toddler Kraken, wondering how the world works, you're just learning how to swim. Oh, but the world makes assumptions. When you've got a big head and tentacles. If you're not the hero, then you must be the villain. And you're just not quite hero stuff. Gangly Kraken, awkward with the other fish, fitting in is hard to do. Adolescent Kraken, dragging quite a stench around, everyone makes fun of you. Oh, but the world makes assumptions. When you've got a big head and tentacles. If you're not the hero, then you must be the villain. And you're just not quite hero stuff. Full-grown Kraken, now it's time to prove yourself. You know what they all expect. Adult Kraken, chaos follows in your wake. Men and ships alike all wrecked. Oh, when the world makes assumptions. You know they deserve what they get. You couldn't be the hero, and so you'll be the villain. You'll be the greatest villain yet. Decades of despair all across the seas. 20,000 leagues or the Lord of the Rings. Stout men's hearts will slacken when they hear, release the Kraken! You'll be the greatest villain yet. Overweight Kraken, lounging in the watery depths, reflecting on your reign of terror. Geriatric Kraken, ready for your quiet years, put to rest the world's great error. Oh, when the world makes assumptions. You know they deserve what they get. You couldn't be the hero, and so you were the villain. You were the greatest villain yet. All right, right, so that is somewhere in between my silly and my serious side. My background is in music therapy, and so I think that sort of pokes in a little bit to my perspective on things and the things that I write about. I didn't mention in the previous song, but in Birds of Rhiannon, you might have noticed that there were some harmonies going on, and that is from a vocal harmony pedal at my feet, and you're going to hear that again in this next one. I'm going to do an oldies cover for you guys. Hopefully you will enjoy it, and please feel free to sing along at home if you know it. On a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere, met up with a gambler. We were both too tired to sleep, so we took turns of staring out the window at the darkness. Till boredom overtook us and he began to speak. He said, "Son, I've made a life out of reading people's faces, knowing what their cards were by the way they held their eyes. And if you don't mind my saying, I can see you're out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice." So I handed him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. Then he bummed a cigarette, asked me for a light. Then the night got deathly quiet, and his face lost all expression. Said, "If you're gonna play the game, boy, learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done." Now every gambler knows that the secret to surviving is knowing what to throw away and knowing what to keep. 'Cause every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser, and the best you can hope for is to die in your sleep. When he'd finished speaking and turned back to the window, crushed out his cigarette, drifted off to sleep. Somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even, but in his final words I found an ace that I could keep. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count things done. All right, so I am going to switch over to ukulele for a few songs. So give me just a second to do that. Some of you may know my ukulele. His name is Reggie, or Sir Reginald if you are on a formal basis with him. So when I got Reggie, the first song that I wrote on him was about a T-Rex. And most of the songs that I sing are either completely fantasy or very, very true to what happens in my life. So this is a song about a T-Rex on a whiteboard. And a number of years ago, we had some cartoon T-Rexes up on a big whiteboard in our dining room where we put up reminders and things like that. And my husband used to do a lot of little cartoons, and they would have speech bubbles coming out of their mouths, and the T-Rexes would be talking to each other, interacting, having fun, and whatnot. And I noticed one day that they weren't really doing that anymore. And so I wrote a song about it, and I'm going to sing it for you now. Now, if you want the full experience, you can find a video on my Facebook page of me singing this in an inflatable T-Rex suit, because why not? There's a T-Rex on my whiteboard who's been quiet lately. He used to have so much to say. There's a T-Rex on my whiteboard who's been quiet lately. I wonder what chased his voice away. T-Rex, are you listening? Why don't you come out to play? T-Rex, if I know you, you've got a lot more to say. I'm not sure if the T-Rex lives off childish wonder. Have we become too serious for him? If we made more time for games and laughter, would he be inspired to join in? T-Rex, are you listening? 'Cause I've been listening for you. T-Rex, are you lonely? Are you bored or angry or blue? There's a T-Rex on my whiteboard who's been quiet lately. He used to have so much to say. There's a T-Rex on my whiteboard who's been quiet lately. I wonder what chased his voice away. T-Rex, are you listening? 'Cause I've been listening for you. T-Rex, are you hungry? Do you just need something to chew? So that's my story about a T-Rex. And if you'd like to hear more, you can find more on singinglark.com. And the heat is sending Reggie a little bit out of tune. So we're just touching him up a little bit. All right, I need to do a couple oldies on uke for you. Well, the mama pajama roll of bed and she ran to the police station. When the papa found out, he began to shout, and they started the investigation. It's against the law. Was against the law. What the mama saw was against the law. Mama looked down and spit on the ground every time my name gets mentioned. And the papa said, if I get that boy, I'm gonna stick him in the house detention. I'm on my way. I don't know where I'm going. I'm on my way. Taking my time, but I don't know where. Goodbye to Rosie, the queen of Corona. See you, me, and Julio down by the schoolyard. See you, me, and Julio down by the schoolyard. In a couple of days, they come and take me away, and the press will let the story leak. When the radical priest come and get me released, we is all on the cover of Newsweek. I'm on my way. I don't know where I'm going. I'm on my way. Taking my time, but I don't know where. Goodbye to Rosie, the queen of Corona. See you, me, and Julio down by the schoolyard. See you, me, and Julio down by the schoolyard. See you, me, and Julio down by the schoolyard. All right, let's do one more cover. This is a great one to sing along to if you know it. If you don't know it yet, you'll probably catch on pretty quickly. Let me tell you a story of a man named Charlie on a tragic and fateful day. He put 10 cents in his pocket, kissed his wife and family, went to ride on the MTA. Did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. He may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's the man who never returned. Charlie handed in his dime at the Kendall Square station, went to change for Jamaica Plain. When he got there, the conductor told him, "One more nickel." Charlie couldn't get off of that train. Did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. Poor Charlie, he may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's the man who never returned. Now all night long, Charlie rides through the station crying, "What will become of me? How can I afford to see my sister in Chelsea or my cousin in Roxbury?" Did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. He may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's the man who never returned. Charlie's wife goes down to the Scully Square station every day at 2:15. And through the open window she hands Charlie a sandwich as the train goes rumbling through. Did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. Poor Charlie, he may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's the man who never returned. All you citizens of Boston, don't you think it's a scandal how the people have to pay and pay? Fight the fare increase, vote for George O'Brien, get poor Charlie off the MTA. hopefully at least a few of you out there knew that one. I want to do one more for you on uke before I switch back to guitar. So this next song, this is actually a parody of a Taylor Swift song. And if you haven't been able to figure it out yet from some of the stories and songs that I've been sharing with you, then I am not quite like Taylor Swift. This will give you an indication. So I like Taylor Swift very much, and I like her music. But if I'm going to sing one of her songs that I want it to be a little bit more true to myself, and myself is very type A personality, and I really like to make lists of things and check things off when they have been accomplished. So maybe some of you can relate. This is called Check It Off. Personality type A, I do things my own way, and I think that's okay. I think that's okay. You'll never see me late. Can't stand too slow a pace, and I think that's okay. I think that's okay. I never sleep in. Can't seem to stop thinking. Even if I feel I'm sinking, if it says to do, baby, I'm gonna see it through. Now the house is quite a wreck. But if you give me a sec, I'm just gonna check it off. I check it off. And now I've gathered all the specs. Got jobs up to my neck. I'm just gonna check it off. I check it off. I'll check it off. I check it off. I add things one by one. I like to get them done. For me, it's kind of fun. For me, it's kind of fun. When the list is extra long, I'll be feeling extra strong. So you can bring it on. You can bring it on. I never sleep in. Can't seem to stop thinking. Even if I feel I'm sinking, if it says to do, baby, I'm gonna see it through. Now the house is quite a wreck. But if you give me a sec, I'm just gonna check it off. I check it off. And now I've gathered all the specs. Got jobs up to my neck. I'm just gonna check it off. I check it off. I'll check it off. I'll check it off. I'll check it off. I'll check it off. All right, give me a minute here. I'm going to swap back over to guitar. So thank you all for coming out and sharing part of your evening with me. I hope that you are doing well. And thank you to the Dover Library for having me. Being able to live stream concerts is one of the things that has been keeping me sane over the last couple of months. And while it is not the same as playing for people live, and there's lots of fun technical challenges that cause hiccups and some anxiety of their own, overall, it is much better than not having any way to share music with you right now. So, if you're interested in seeing where I'm playing next, whether it be live, which will probably be a while, or online, you can find that information at my website, singinglark.com. You can also find all of my downloadable albums, and as I mentioned earlier, on Bandcamp today only, they are doing revenue free, so artists get 100% of whatever you pay for an album, and all of my albums right now are pay what you wish, so you can really sample the music for whatever price that you feel is fair. All right. I'm going to do another kind of serious song here. I wrote this back in October, and it's actually in Spanish. So if you don't speak Spanish, I'm going to give you the first verse in English, and then the chorus also is in Spanish and English, so you get at least the idea of what the song is about. And I think that the general emotion of it carries over well, even if you don't understand the exact words. But this is called El Muro, the wall. And the first verse goes like this. There is no need to build a wall. The wall already rises, the road already closed, and every distant horizon will disappear from view if we continue to build this wall between me and you. No es necesario construir un muro. El muro ya se alza, el camino ya está cerrado y el lejano horizonte desaparecerá de vista si seguimos construir el muro entre tú y yo. Nuestro miedo mutuo crea una barrera más fuerte que el hierro, más ancha que el mundo, que nadie puede trepar y nadie puede rodear. Si el muro se yergue entre tú y yo, al cerrar tus ojos te levantas, al cerrar tus oídos te levantas, al cerrar tu corazón levantas el muro. And when you close your eyes, you build it. And when you close your ears, you build it. And when you close your heart, you build the wall. Vemos al granjero, pero no vemos al Padre. Vemos a la criada, pero no vemos a la madre. Solo vemos los problemas y nunca a las personas. Cuando el muro se alza entre tú y yo, oímos el acento y no las buenas ideas. Oímos el extranjero y no nuestro vecino. Solo oímos las diferencias y nunca la igualdad. Cuando el muro se alza entre tú y yo, al cerrar tus ojos lo levantas, al cerrar tus oídos levantas, al cerrar tu corazón levantas el muro. And when you close your eyes, you build it. And when you close your ears, you build it. And when you close your heart, you build the wall. Al cerrar tu corazón, levantas el muro. All right, so the next song that I'm going to do for you is neither serious nor political. It's about knitting, and it's a dialogue between one person who is teaching how to knit and one person who is learning how to knit. And you can see how the dynamic changes between them as the song goes on. Knit and purl, It's as easy as knit and purl, just knit and purl, knit and purl. You can make anything in the world if you learn to knit and purl. But what about the increase and the decrease and the slip, knit, pass, slip, stitch over? Knit and purl, knit and purl. It's as easy as knit and purl, just knit and purl, knit and purl. The socks, the sweaters, and the scarves unfurl if you learn to knit and purl. But what about the increase and the decrease and the slip, knit, pass, slip, stitch over? Yeah, what about the increase and the decrease? And what the heck is intarsia? Knit and purl, knit and purl. Pick up your needles and give it a whirl. Just knit and purl, knit and purl. Don't be such an ungrateful churl. Be quiet, now knit and purl. But what about the increase and the decrease and the slip, knit, pass, slip, stitch over? Yeah, what about the I-cord and cable needles and the Fair Isle Christmas reindeer? I'll throw my needles in, it's just a bit too much. Now I've got way more yarn than I've got self-control. I'll throw my needles in, it's just a bit too much now. It started out simple, then I went down the Ravelry hole. Purl and knit, purl and knit. There's no reason for you to quit. Just purl and knit, purl and knit. You're acting like a real piece of... Shut up, just purl and knit. So that one is one of 7 free songs that you get if you are interested in signing up for my email list. You will get a response email that sends you downloads for 7 free songs, so you can kind of get a sample of what it is that I do, because they come from 7 different albums that I have released, so you get a taste of a lot of different styles of things that I have created. Let me get one more oldie in here for you. I gotta do some Everly Brothers. Wake up, little Susie, wake up. Wake up, little Susie, wake up. We've both been sound asleep. Wake up, little Susie, and weep. The movie's over, it's 4 o'clock, and we're in trouble deep. Wake up, little Susie. Wake up, little Susie. Well, what are we gonna tell your mama? What are we gonna tell your pop? What are we gonna tell our friends when they say, ooh la la, wake up, little Susie. Wake up, little Susie. Well, I told your mama that we'd be in by 10. And now Susie, baby, looks like we goofed again. Wake up, little Susie. Wake up, little Susie. We gotta go home. Wake up, little Susie. Wake up. Wake up, little Susie, wake up. The movie wasn't so hot. It didn't have much of a plot. We fell asleep, our goose is cooked, our reputation is shot. Wake up, little Susie. Wake up, little Susie. Well, what are we gonna tell your mama? What are we gonna tell your pop? What are we gonna tell our friends when they say, ooh la la, wake little Susie. Wake up, little Susie. Wake up, little Susie. All right. I have to tell you, Everly Brothers songs are one of the main reasons that I decided to purchase the vocal harmony pedal to begin with. It's very strange to sing an Everly Brothers song without any harmony, so now I feel like I have my own little personal backup band in my pocket wherever I go. Okay, so again, my name is Alyssa Yeager of Rhiannon's Lark. You can find out whatever you would like at singinglark.com. I've got background info, I've got contact info, I've got a lengthy bio and lots of albums that you can listen to for free or you can purchase if you choose to. And I've got one more for you today. This is one of my favorites, and you will probably recognize the melody. This is a parody of the Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and it's about the very first time that I played Dungeons and Dragons. So this was back in high school, so many years ago, and the game master, the GM or the DM at the time, was a friend of mine then and is now my husband. So that's not what the song is about, just an interesting tidbit. I actually have a number of videos up right now on Facebook and YouTube called pop-up videos, and this is the first one that I did. And basically I sing the song live, but then I have little pop-ups that tell you more of the backstory, my inspiration for the song, and little things that might not be obvious about my process of writing the song so that you can kind of dig a little further into it. So this is called Job, the Armored Donkey. The legend lives on, though the years past are long, since my very first time campaigning. A party of 4, we were ready for war, though 3 of us had 0 training. My character's build was a strange mix of skills. She could move silently and cast glamours. I'd never have bet that her strongest asset was her penchant for making great armor. A pack mule we sought for the gear we had bought, and we soon found one that was quite hardy. Then in my spare time I mastered a design of a lizard scale mail for the donkey. Oh, it's Job the armored donkey. Oh, it's Job the armored donkey. Our first mission in, there's a river to swim, and we fret over whether Job will sink. His light lizard mail lets him ford it quite well, but he brays as he reaches the far bank. He's seen a bright flash from the depths, and we dash back into the river to search it. We come up with gold and treasure unforetold. Job's keen eye has made this trip worth it. Oh, we're rich thanks to Job the donkey. It's not long at all till we're caught in a squall, and we have to make camp in the open. We awake in the night, 50 orcs we must fight, and Job's hobble we see has been broken. The orcs come en masse, 10 to each one of us. Their arrows will take us life and limb. Job gallops the line, catching each one in time, and their bolts just shatter against him. Oh, we're alive thanks to Job the donkey. Oh, it's Job the armored donkey. My friends, you can laugh, I too thought it a gaffe. I mean, who makes a donkey wear scale mail? Yet time and again, he's been more than a friend. Our adventure son's Job would surely fail. He saved all our lives about 34 times and made us obscenely wealthy. We're famed across the land thanks to him and our band, and we count him as one of the family. Oh, it's Job the armored donkey. Oh, it's Job the armored donkey. All right. Thank you one more time for joining me tonight, and thanks to the Dover Library for hosting this event for us. I apologize that I couldn't get the chat working on my end, but if you have any lingering questions, you are welcome to email me. You can find my contact information at singinglark.com. I hope that you enjoy the concert and that you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and you are welcome to attend my online concerts anytime. Good night, everyone.